Yeah, I like things like this.
The ruffle. So let's talk about getting over him. And tell me about the story you're telling there. Is it a personal story or is it a tale that you're telling? Or both?
Oh, yeah. Well, I went through a pretty brutal breakup. It was fairly public, and I never spoke about it at all. I pretty much avoided the question when I was asked. And well, because when I'm going through something like that, it's very difficult for me to know how to handle it publicly because my personal life is my personal life, and then people get involved, and they feel invested in my relationships. And I used to share my relationships on my social media pages, which I think I learned my lesson on that. But so people get invested in my relationships, and then when they don't work out, they want to ask a bunch of questions, and that's just natural. But I was hurting so bad and going through a breakup while I literally went through a breakup 2 weeks before I was on Dancing with the Stars, and it was horrible. And I didn't really know what to say, and I was still very sad. And the only thing that I really know to do with my emotions is write about them. So I wrote this. Very sorry about that.
You're good.
I wrote this, my ex-boyfriend calling. Just kidding. It's not.
Wouldn't that be like, what?
Can you imagine? I would be like, oh.
Yes. Yes.
I would have a heart attack. I'd throw the phone out of the room.
Sorry, just doing.
The only way I know how to deal with my emotions is to write about them. And when I was on Dancing with the Stars, it was such a celebration of my success to this point, and I was trying something brand new and learning a new skill, and I was really, I really wanted to do that for myself, and I didn't want my story at that point to be about the breakup because it was such a time of celebration. I was really trying to focus on that, and so I wrote this music and kind of didn't say anything. And this is my response to what happened. And I think I covered all of the emotions I felt: anger, sadness, all of them.
Wow. So you found the silver lining in heartbreak.
Yeah. Well, I wrote my last album about learning to love myself and appreciate my family and my story and really embracing who I am. And it was really all about how I felt about myself and how I loved myself. And then this music feels like me learning to love myself when someone else doesn't, and still being empowered and still feeling good about myself when someone else doesn't necessarily treat me the way they should. So I'm really proud of the music because it's empowering and it's a breakup EP. So I don't know how I did that, but I just got into this place. I had a lot of time to kind of process it because I didn't speak about it, and I did get to collect my thoughts and really figure out how I felt about it. And I wrote through it. I wrote all of these emotions, and now that I'm over it and I'm healed from it, and I don't really hold any anger or resentment or sadness about it anymore. It's just kind of something that happened in my story. I'm able to talk about it and hopefully empower other people going through something like that, because every once in a while, I think in life, you come across somebody who doesn't treat you the way they should, and we can still be empowered through that. It doesn't have to totally break us. But I was sad. I was really sad for a long time, but now I'm past it, and I wish him the best, and I finally get to tell my side with this music.
And you get to say, take care.
Bye. Bye.
So you're at this really good place. So which of the songs now, I guess, is most you of where you're at, or you pass all of them because they're breakup songs?
Let's see. I would say that's a really good question. I went through the getting over him phase. I'm not really doing that. Also, the world shut down. So, that, have you heard the music?
Yeah, and oh my goodness, it's so good. I have listened to Run on repeat.
I would say Run is the most accurate song for where I am now, because it's not necessarily about a breakup, but it's more of a life song. And it's like, we go through all of these different things, but we're all just trying to press forward and become the person that we want to be. So that feels really accurate for the place and then I snuck the breakup into the second verse.
Atta girl. So you've gotten through this breakup by writing these really amazing songs, but how else did you do it? Did you wake up every morning, just sort of like put one foot in front of the other? Like how else can you share with other women to get through something similar?
Oh, it's tough. You have to take it day by day and accept the emotions that come with it. Sadness is a really hard emotion for me because I'm like bubbly and always happy. So when I'm sad, I'm like really sad and I don't know what to do about it. But I had a really good support system. Honestly, I think one of the most helpful things for me right after that happened was I was on Dancing with the Stars and I was actively doing something for myself to prove something to myself. And I know that people out there probably can't go on Dancing with the Stars, but it is good to keep yourself busy and like set goals for yourself. And I mean, I was on national television, so that's like an extreme way of setting a goal for yourself. But it's just good to have good people around you and find out what makes you happy and do things for yourself. And listen, there are going to be a lot of people that don't love you, but there are going to be a lot of people that do. And the most important person to love you is you. So if you love yourself and you do things every day to encourage yourself and lift yourself up, it takes the power away from the person who doesn't. And I said that with Road Less Traveled about my image and my eating disorder and that kind of stuff. And now I'm kind of saying it with this man really did not treat me well. And it kind of, I really loved him and I was like really good to him. And when someone doesn't give you that back and you start questioning yourself and saying, what's wrong with me and why am I not enough? And the thing is, that's more about them than it is about you. And we have to be in a place where we love ourselves so that, because there are always, that may not be the last breakup I ever go through, but it was I learned the most from it because it was brutal. And I think sometimes the harder things are, the more reward we get when we're on the other side of it. So you just have to kind of take care of yourself every day. And you can listen to my EP. That will be empowering. Yeah. If I Was a Beer is a good mad breakup song. Like I wrote If I Was a Beer because I was like not oh, there's my manager just peeking into the background. I wrote If I Was a Beer about the fact that I never talked about it. It was a rough breakup and I never said a bad thing about him, and I really still won't. Like I do wish him the best, and I hope that he's found healing and that his next relationship can be very different than ours was. But I am so thankful that he broke my heart because I think this is the best music I've ever made. So I should send him a little thank you.
Yeah, here's a gift. Here's my album right here. Here's an EP with a little bow.
It is a little scary though because he definitely has not heard the songs, and he's gonna know they're about him. Like,
well, I mean, you're also saying like, I'm over this now. I'm over you. So
yeah,
and you know what you want for the next one, for your next relationship, right?
Yes, it's all a learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So have you been able to move on from that and go, well, you've already moved on from that, but move on to someone else? Or are you in the stage of, I'm just going to love me right now?
I'm working on me. I'm figuring it out. It's a little hard to date during a pandemic. So
can't even imagine what.
Unless it's the Amazon guy coming up to the door, I don't really know, but we'll see. I want a family someday. I want to, all of those things. So I know that whatever's meant to happen will happen. And I'm just getting the ones that aren't right out of the way. We've gotten a few misses.
You call them frogs? Gotta kiss a few frogs?
You really do. God, you really, really do.
Before you get your friends. Well, you've recently worked with Trisha Yearwood too, and I spoke to her a while ago, and I found her to be the most amazing sounding board for advice, and she's just so together. So, have you learned anything from working with her? Or, I mean, you guys have a very close relationship.
I adore her so much. Our personalities are very similar. We pretty much hit it off like the first time we met. And she calls me Trisha Jr. I'm in her phone as Junior. That may be my finest accomplishment because, I grew up in the 90s listening to her. Her voice is one of the most influential voices for me. Her inflections and the phrasing and her tone, all of it was very influential for me. So meeting her and becoming a friend is unbelievable. And it was really crazy how that whole thing kind of came together. She and I we performed together on an award show, and we shared a dressing room with like a bunch of girls, and she and I were talking about how we could not wait to finish the show so that we could go get a cheeseburger because you pretty much eat lettuce leading up to those award shows, And we started talking about the best fast food restaurants, and she said, you should come on my cooking show and we'll make fast food recipes. So that's what we did. And while we were in the kitchen cooking, she sang Getting Good to Me, which is my current single. And that was the craziest moment ever. That's one of my favorite clips of my career. And then after we finished shooting that day, she said, if you ever want to do a song with me, just let me know. I would love to work with you. And so I worked up the nerve like 2 weeks later to call her and ask her if she wanted to do Getting Good. And she said yes. Mm-hmm. And she's, as far as being like a sounding board and being, I really look up to her, and she is in my corner. And outside of like getting to work with her, she's just a really good person. And she told me Garth is singing Getting Good in the living room. So
what?
Like, I've peaked.
Do you ever think like how far, I'm sure you do at some points, but probably not every day, how amazing your career path has been since American Idol? How cool.
There were so many moments where I thought it wouldn't work out. There were just so many roadblocks along the way that were like, okay, is this it? Am I not going to make it through? And then things always seem to take a turn and work out. And now the things that I have done in the last 10 years, I can't even believe. I literally cannot believe that my life is my life. And I have to look at this closet. How do I have this? I feel like the house I grew up in could fit in my closet.
Oh my God. Can you please show me your favorite piece, like your go-to piece? I need to see something from your closet. This closet is unreal.
Well, do you want to see the pink dress?
Yes.
Okay, I'll show you. But I just want you to know, these pants I'm wearing, they're the kind of pants when you sit down, they just wrinkle like you've never ironed them. I did that before, so just don't judge, all right?
They look amazing. Look adorable. Oh my God, what a dress. Oh, that's fabulous. I love it.
Look how, I don't know, I'll never be able to wear this again. Like, where could I wear it if I just showed up to a dinner and I was like, sup, y'all?
Be great if you were just like wearing that casually around your kitchen one day. I'm going to just put this on for me today and celebrate your new EP.
I just got this. I'm very excited about this.
Ooh, who makes that?
This guy named Daniel Diamond made this for me, and he put my logo on it.
I love it.
I can't wait. And he cropped it up for me. I'm very excited about it. I like pink.
I couldn't tell.
That's funny. It's probably my least favorite color outside of like wearing it. I don't really I just like to wear pink. I think it really represents my brand well, but I've never, when I was younger, liked pink. ever. And then all of a sudden I was like, it looks good with my skin tone. I'm like, well, really, I was such a tomboy growing up. And then I became a singer, and it turned me into this person. I don't know how that happened, but
Literally right away. You went to
it took me a few years. If you look at pictures from the beginning, I'm like was really trying to figure it out. But my stylist changed my life. She made me girlier for sure.
Well, it worked.
Shout out to Amber Lehman.
Well, I think I have to let you go, unfortunately, unless
No.
you want to keep on talking, because I can definitely do that.
Well, I think I have some more interviews, but
Yeah,
I would.
think me too. I've got one more question for you then, and it is, what to you is the greatest luxury in life, and why?
The greatest luxury? Oh, spending time with my family. And I think that's my answer. I've always loved my family, but because I work so much and I travel so much, I appreciate every second I get with my nephews and my mom and dad so much more, because I live 3 hours away from them, which isn't that far. My mother's actually in Wisconsin, so that's a lot further, but I don't get to see my family that much. And you know, this is very luxurious. I'm so thankful for this, but the thing that I cherish the most in life is when I get to go home and my little nephews run to the front door and greet me and give me hugs and love on me, because I don't get that very much, I don't get to see them very much. So that's like when I'm my happiest, for sure.
That's awesome. And do you want to say any
My
last thing
little
about-
nephew started kindergarten today.
Oh.
I don't even know how that, I was getting pictures, and then my other little nephew had a little sign that said, "Hurry back, brother." And I was like sobbing. I could cry thinking about it. I don't know how he is in kindergarten.
Oh no, you
I'm feeling emotional.
so
Let's see a
cute.
picture. You want to see it?
Sure.
No. He sent me a bunch. I want to show you the one with the "Hurry back, brother."
Oh, that is so cute. That's so cute.
Nuggets. Oh, look
Oh,
at him. This little backpack. I love him so much.
so cute.
They're so sweet. But that's my favorite. And also, like, they just love me for me. They have no idea. I mean, the older one knows that I asked him, "What's my job?" And he said, "You sing on the stage." But they don't like really understand it. They haven't really seen it. When they see me, I'm in my pajamas hanging out with them watching Paw Patrol, So I love that. It's like I get to go back and just be me and spend family time.
Just Lauren.